Welcome back. Here's a shocking statistic. Every year, 20 million people attempt suicide.
Yeah, there's a lot of stigma and shame that go with difficult problems like mental illness, sexual abuse, and addiction. But a play called A Day for Grace is helping that conversation. It is a heartwarming true story of a family struggling with many of those social taboos and their triumph over them. And here to talk about an upcoming performance and a special community discussion is the director and music director, Gary Tanin, along with therapist Dan Bird. Great to see both of you.
Good morning, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Let's talk about A Day for Grace. It was performed back in 2013 in Milwaukee. Is there a different presentation, or will people see something different this time?
Absolutely. This year, we're presenting it at the Oconomowoc Arts Center in Oconomowoc through a generous contribution by the Oconomowoc Area Foundation. And the big difference, there's some new music being added from Sam's recent record, The Whole Night Through, and there will be a talkback session after the play with support professionals being able to answer questions.
Give us a quick, refresh our memories. What is the play about again?
The play deals with, it's an autobiographical play by Doug Vincent, who is the playwright, that deals with his life growing up with an alcoholic father who ended up committing suicide. The other half of the play deals with how Doug carries on his life with lots of hope and doesn't repeat that action and ends up with the birth of his daughter, Grace.
It's wonderful. Are there certain insights, particularly about suicide and awareness, that you can share with us?
Well, I think the big thing is trying to erase the stigma and being able to go out there and talk about this in a great forum like this art center with a great play and the great music. So it's a wonderful forum for that discussion and to get people talking. And having that panel of experts there as well is just another caveat.
Mm-hmm. So tell us about the Talkback Session. That's what's new this time, correct? What exactly, what's the format of that? How is that going to happen?
Well, we're going to, we've all kind of, the therapists, myself and the other two have viewed the play and are going to be presenting on our own perspectives on that, trying to engage the audience in a discussion about suicide and drug addiction, etc.
So is it going to be a question and answer type, or?
Yes,
or
yes.
Like okay.
Yeah, we'll be discussing our own perspectives on it that we drew from watching it, and then trying to engage the audience as well. And it, from what I understand, not having seen the play live, it's a very emotional experience for those that attend, and so we're hoping that we can again try to get the stigma erased and allow people to come out and talk about it and feel about it. So we're excited.
And I wanted to talk about your background as a professional counselor. I know you lead a group of young men who struggle with alcohol and drug problems. You work with people who have relationship problems, dysfunction in their relationships, people with depression, anxiety, panic disorders, people like we said who have relationship stress. And I guess the point I was hoping that you could make, and something that this play brings up too, is that there is hope and there is healing, and part of what gets us to that place is being able to talk about it openly and to have theater like this that helps stimulate conversation.
Yeah, it's exciting that we have this opportunity. All those areas that I specialize in all have a suicide component to it. They all can lead to that act. So you have to be well versed in those areas in order to attempt or to address the suicide, which is always somewhere in the background that needs to always be paid attention to. So this is just a great example of trying to, for us to have an opportunity to talk to the audience, who I would guess, to a large extent, have all been affected to some degree or another. I think most of us can admit that we know somebody, at least maybe one step past who's attempted or committed suicide.
Unfortunately. Gary, what's your hope and goal for this play production?
Well, I think Molly said it perfectly. It's the whole idea that there is hope. The whole idea that either someone you know, someone directly you know, has been affected in this way. And if you can't say that, you're not being honest with yourself, or you're not looking hard enough. It's so pervasive. Alcoholism, drug addiction, these precursors that are all leading risk factors for suicide. The idea that there is hope, the play brings that up because in the end, you know, the son who was affected by this didn't commit the same act and carries it on to a new generation and has a beautiful daughter that's born, you know, at the end of the play. So the idea that there is hope, that if you get help, it is possible to avoid all these consequences.
I think it's wonderful.
Very
it's
powerful.
An uplifting message. It takes a really clear, I think, brings it all into focus, which is wonderful. And this is happening Thursday, September 10th. Tomorrow is the first day of September. So coming up soon, it's a Day for Grace, Thursday, September 10th at the Oconomowoc Arts Center. You can find out more by going to this website. It's adayforgraceshow.com. Great to see both of you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
appreciate it. Thank you so much. And up